Being a celebrity doesn't mean much if you don't have adoring fans to buy your latest album or tickets to your movie premieres. And sadly, a lot of celebrities forget that they have fame and fortune because of the everyday people that buy their work to support them. And today we will be exposing those rude celebrities. In at number 10, Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber went through a bad boy phase when he was a teenager and did a lot of harsh stuff to his fans while he was lashing out. Photos even caught Justin spitting from a balcony in Toronto, and guess who was below the balcony? All of Justin's adoring fans. One of them probably had spit land on their face. Although Justin has denied this and claims that he didn't spit on the fans, essentially just around them. Then there are also tons of videos of Justin losing his cool with fans in the past. In 2016, he even posted to Instagram that he was not going to take pictures with fans anymore because he, quote, feels like a zoo animal. Adding, quote, I realize people will be disappointed, but I don't owe anybody a picture. Justin has been particularly harsh to fans about their love for his relationship with Selena Gomez, and he attacks them when they say anything negative about his new wife, Hailey. In at number 9, Rihanna. Rihanna is known for being pretty sassy, and in the past that sass has been directed at her own fans. One fan claimed that they won free tickets and backstage passes to a Rihanna concert, and they were very excited for the chance to meet Rihanna in person. But it wasn't what they expected. The fan said, quote, when the kids finally got the chance to go meet Rihanna, she was sitting at her makeup booth and refused to face them or even look at them. When they asked for her autograph, she told the closest backup dancer to forge it for them and shooed them away. But that's not all. Rihanna also got heat for her attitude towards fans in 2014 when she trashed a fan who dressed like her for the prom. Rihanna posted a link to the fan's photo with a frown face to make matters even worse. In at number 8, Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence does not like to interact with her fans when she's out in public or take pictures with them. Apparently when she feels like someone is going to come up and talk to her, she responds by being incredibly rude so that they will leave her alone. When speaking with Adam Sandler, she told him, quote, generally once I enter a public place, I become incredibly rude, I turn into a huge a-hole. She then continued on that it's her way of defending herself and that she acts like this to make sure that nobody crosses any boundaries. She will also deny selfie requests if she's in a bad mood. Then to contrast just how terrible that Jen sounded, Adam Sandler said he makes a point to be really nice to his fans in public, saying, quote, my life's nearing the end, I want to meet as many people as I can. In at number 7, Ariana Grande. One of Ariana Grande's biggest scandals to date was back in 2015 when she licked multiple donuts in a donut shop, acting like an entitled spoiled brat. But that's not all. After licking the donuts, Ariana noticed a tray of fresh donuts getting put out and said that they were gross and, quote, I hate Americans, I hate America. And considering most of her fans live in America, fans took it as a personal dig. Ariana apologized many times after the incident, but since TMZ got a video of it, we could see just how disgusting it all was. Thankfully for Ariana, we all forgot over the years, but watching it back again for this video, I'm truly shocked at how horrible she was back then. Following the scandal, she was cut from performing at a White House event, and tons of fans turned their backs on her, especially ones that love donut shops. In at number 6, Avril Lavigne. Back when Avril Lavigne was the hottest punk artist, she hosted tons of meet and greets at her concerts. But there was one strict rule for fans: no touching Avril. This was a huge shock to most fans because one of the most exciting parts about a meet and greet is the opportunity to hug your idol and talk to them about whatever you want for that brief time. So you're basically paying money to stand beside her for an awkward photo. One of the places where this got the worst response was in Brazil, where fans had to pay $400 to meet Avril, and were not allowed to even stand beside her. Apparently they were asked to stand at least 5 feet from her, and it made for some pretty awkward photos. The whole thing was super uncomfortable, and if I would have paid for that, I would have been very annoyed. Halfway number 5, Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez is so savage that she allegedly got a maid that asked for her autograph fired from her job. Obviously it was against policy and the maid should not have done it, but seeing JLo was most likely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The maid told a German newspaper, quote, I cleaned on her floor and I'm an incredibly big fan, so I took all my courage and rang the bell to get an autograph, but I was rejected by 2 assistants at the door. Apparently the next day the company the maid worked for called her at her job and told her that JLo had complained and she was fired because she disturbed the guest. The hotel director stood by the decision to fire the maid, insisting that he doesn't tolerate employees who disturb his guests. In at number 4, Christian Bale. Christian Bale has a very hot temper and seems to lose it over the smallest things. We learned this firsthand from one of his old assistants, who claimed that he was diagnosed with PTSD after working with Bale. From this ex-assistant, we learned that Bale is super harsh to fans that ask for autographs. One time a group of young girls came up to him and asked him for an autograph, and instead of just being polite and doing it, he instead lectured them on why it's rude to ask celebrities for autographs, and left them in tears. He's also been caught on tape berating crew members on set, and he was even arrested for freaking out at family members during a press tour. And at number 3, Megan Fox. This one might be the worst because it was unnecessarily harsh. While Megan Fox was walking into an event, she passed by a crowd of adoring fans. One of these fans was holding a rose out for Megan, and she savagely rejected the offer and walked right past him. Now, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and assume she might not have noticed it, because if she did, that is seriously mean. To be honest, the picture of this happening is pretty heartbreaking. Poor guy. After the incident, the press caught up with the guy with the rose, and he claimed that he flew from New York to LA just to give her this rose. In at number 2, Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson is notoriously snooty about his role in the film Twilight, and he constantly speaks about how the movies are beneath him. In pretty much any interview that he's done about the franchise, he's trashed it, talking about plot holes and character choices that he didn't agree with. It's so bad that he even thinks that fans of the movies are strange and odd people for liking it so much. He told MoviePhone that if he was never part of the movies, quote, "I think I'm judgmental and a cynical person who would just mindlessly hate it without having seen anything. I just think I'm a bad person." He's also admitted to not knowing the character names. When asked if the fans know the movies more than him, he said, quote, "Definitely. I'm struggling with character names, my own character name." To make matters worse, he claimed the movies are so mindless that he lost brain cells because of it, adding, quote, "I think I stopped mentally progressing around the time when I started doing those movies." And finally at number 1, Lea Michele. After Lea Michele's 2020 cancellation, it's clear that she is rude to just about anybody she comes into contact with, including her own castmates and crew members. But her arrogance also spills over into her relationship with her fans. Apparently, before fellow celebrity Hailee Steinfeld was a pop star and an Oscar nominee, she was a fan who begged for Lea Michele's autograph and was totally shut down. Steinfeld said, quote, "When I was auditioning for True Grit, I was on the Paramount lot. I was wearing clothes from the 1800s that were big and uncomfortable. Glee also films on the lot and I loved the show, but I hadn't really followed it. I saw Lea Michele just walking to her trailer and I was like, that's the girl from Glee, I've got to go ask for her autograph. So I walked up to her and asked her for an autograph, but she walked by and a guy came up and said, sorry, now's not a good time. So I had to walk all the way back to the car wearing what I was wearing. I was practically crying on the way home. I was so sad." And if Lea treated a fellow actor on the lot this way, I can only imagine how she would have treated a stranger on the street. So that's all for the list, guys. Let me know your thoughts below and let me know who I could put in a part 2. I've been your host Mackenzie Smith, and subscribe for the next one. When speaking with Adam Sandler, she told him, quote, generally once I enter enter, why can't I say that?